for having me, of course. It's a pleasure to help fellow organizers of meetups and KCDs. I've been doing this for a while, so I understand the struggle. I feel for you. So if I could be here and help you, give you half an hour of my time, it's my pleasure. So, and I like to talk about this stuff because I'm learning as everybody else. So it's a way to share how we learn, and so we're here together to be together and to discuss. And it's not only me presenting, but it's also I'm very curious to know what people have to say about these topics, right? So, yes, so it's me. So I'm a bunch of things, of course. Like I'm a platform advocate solo. We do service mesh, a lot of cloud native networking. Of course, I'm not gonna talk about it that much today, but that's one of my favorite topics. So please come forward if you want to talk more, and maybe next time I'll talk about service mesh. But today I'm here in well, in my capacity of as I say, just a student of AI, like many people here. And what I'm proud of course, is to be an ambassador for the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So today I'm going to talk about what is going on within the CNCF around AI. Again, I'm not maybe not the best person to talk about, but I'm definitely very curious, and I've been looking into the recent developments. And I just came back from Chicago, of course, and I'm gonna share some news from there. Of course, it would be to be an ambassador is also to talk about cloud native whenever you can, and to spread the enthusiasm and the interest for the technology and for the community. So yes, we're gonna talk about what is cloud native. I like to reinforce the understanding and how cloud native feeds into and benefits from the recent explosion of the conversation about AI and the use of practical tools around AI. So let's see what we have, of course. So let's make the cloud great again. Since 2016, 2017, since Kubernetes was dropped on GitHub, we've been experiencing, we live in this world of cloud native that is not really slowing down, not one bit. In fact, it was one of the community, the whole industry grew so much during the pandemic, where everything else was slowing down, everything was kind of stopping. Our community grew even stronger, and it came back even stronger in the recent KubeCons. Amsterdam, 12,000 people, Chicago, another 10,000 people, and I suppose Paris in March will be even bigger. So it means that there is such an interest, and we live in a world that is really running cloud native applications. So what are those? Of course, there is a lot of confusion. It's interesting to understand why it's so confusing. Maybe because the definition of CNCF is a bit vague, maybe on purpose, right? So because to catch more, to be more inclusive of different tools and trends in the industry, something that maybe was valid in 2017, in 2016, when the foundation was born. It's maybe different now, so maybe the definition also needs some updates, and it's becoming even more inclusive of different things. So, but at the very core, we talk about cloud native applications, those that are definitely containerized or containerizable, so to say. So applications that are segmented, they are divided, they are architected as microservices. Of course, we talk about all these containers and these microservices. They need to be deployed, and of course, DevOps it still is relevant. And I have a whole deck about platform engineering, so let's not get started about what is platform engineering, if it's DevOps 2.0 or 3.0, whatever. But it's definitely integral part, a very important part of cloud native today is the ideas behind platform engineering. So So, and I was actually reading this article just today, and I thought to quote it, and an interesting quote from Oli Kamis is like, "What is cloud native? Maybe it's just a synonym for something, cool and shiny, modern and nice, or built in the last few years." You can agree with that, of course. But it's really there's no pragmatic definition of cloud native, but it's what it is and what we do as part of this community of the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, all the projects under the umbrella of the foundation. They are all more or less project that helps building cloud native applications. So this is very important, very popular, of course. Like you ask around. I used to. Well, I started doing the meetups, the Dutch Kubernetes meetup in Amsterdam, 2017. At the time, the question was, do you use Kubernetes? And today, the question is, how many clusters do you have, or how do you use Kubernetes? So it's a given now that large organizations, small startups, they are using Kubernetes in one way or another. Maybe directly, maybe they run their own clusters, maybe they have their own infrastructure, or even indirectly, most of the services we run, they do run on Kubernetes, GitLab, GitHub, or as an example, but also the very same OpenAI is trained on cloud native technology. So it's not more a question of if, but it's a question of how and how to do it properly and right. And this talk is about how can AI help this, right? This, of course, like it's very confusing for a lot of people because if you approach this, by the way, I was looking at the KubeCon North America agenda. All the talks are online. There is a bunch of very interesting, very easy talks to start with. So that they explain how to get started in cloud native. You can always reach out to one of us, one of the ambassadors in your region. They will be very happy to help you getting started with cloud native. So this is very confusing, right? So I think it was one of the biggest mistake of CNCF to put out this gigantic map or puzzle of cloud native, and I think it does more harm than good. But hey, it's is what it is. So it's a meme now. So this cloud native, right? So let's change gear. Let's talk about what is going on, right? So what's going on in the world. uh, I'm 47, so I witnessed the beginning of a few technologies, right? So I remember before the internet and after the internet, the world really split. The history of the world split in two for me. I mean, I witnessed that transition. I remember the Netscape and the first browsers, and even before I was having a BBS with my brother. I was doing dial-up, and it was super cool. Then and then I saw what the big bubble and all the rise of cloud native, and I'm so lucky that I get to witness another revolution, which is this spread of use of generative AI, right? So putting this such power in the hands of everybody, of course, it's scary and should be treated with respect, the respect it deserves, of course, but it's also transformative power. Putting the internet in the hands of everybody, sure, it creates some monsters, but it also unlocks unimaginable development and revolution in the way humanity works together. So that's of course very philosophical, but I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful to be there, to be here, witnessing this revolution. So this is, and of course, the perception evolves, right? So in the beginning, we also look at, remember, I think it was Bill Gates. This is computers will never need more than a gigabyte of RAM, but that was proven wrong by history. And as such, also Stanley Kubrick envision, and maybe even what Amazon started to introduce Alexa. Even then, it wasn't the thing that is today, or what the movies and Hollywood look at when they want to show you AI in some different light than it is, right? So, or I was watching Terminator with my son the other day, and actually, it's the whole destruction of humanity was 2029. So we have a few years to enjoy before Terminator takes over. Of course, it's not gonna happen. We know that. One of my favorite book, if you don't know it, Neuromancer, again, was in 2035, where people could inject memories in your brain. Who knows? I mean, I wish it would be true. I mean, as a cyberpunk fan, I wish this could be true. And if it's 2035, I'd probably still be around to see for myself. But the reality is this, right? So it's technology in the hands of everybody. I think it's the revolution. The revolution is that accessibility to technology is getting so widespread that is we don't know where it's going, right? So we don't know what to do with it. I think people are still struggling. Governments are made of people, of course. Corporations are still struggling to understand what is the real game here. As such, we should all of us, all people that are stake in technology and they're interested in staying updated with technology, we should talk about it. And that's great that we have occasions like this to talk about AI. So what is AI really? So there is a AI Act from the European Union. Again, I saw it the other day. I thought talk about sharing this. So there is an official definition from the European Union. What is AI, right? So it's a machine-based system designed to operate with varying levels of autonomy, which is the crucial word here. So a system that it doesn't need intervention. It doesn't need somebody overseeing that system, and can work towards a goal, an objective, right? So, and this is what it's a very encompassing definition, but it's very clear that is such a transformative tool for today's work. And Edgar Dijkstra, a Dutch person, of course, like a professor, a Turing medal, made this very interesting quote. The question of whether computers can think is like the question of whether submarines can swim. Imagine you are a fish and somebody invents a submarine, and you look at it like an alien form, like an alien life form, like we do, like we look at AI like some kind of alien that was invented by humans, and is gonna take over. So imagine you try to define what a submarine is. Is it a fish? Can it swim? Of course it can. Can it swim better than another fish? And of course, this is where we are now, right? So we are looking at this submarine like fishes would do, and we don't understand, or we are asking the wrong questions, right? So can AI think? Of course it can. We don't have monopoly over thinking. There are other animals on the planet, and there are other sentient beings that they have feelings and capacity for complex thoughts, and so is AI. So it's not the question if AI can think, but what to do with it. What is our answer as a species, right? So that's I love to talk about this. And yesterday also I was in this conversation. Somebody compared AI to stochastic parrots, and there's actually a paper called "On the Dangers of Stochastic Parrots." So is AI thinking? It doesn't really matter. What they are good at is helping us in our daily job, right? So it doesn't matter the philosophical implication, but what can they do for us? So now let's combine the two teams, right? So AI and cloud native. So why is important for us? All of us that work in cloud native. Why is so compelling to understand and to catch the train of artificial intelligence? First of all, because I think we have a responsibility as technologists to stay on top of things. Like don't let technology. I always had these thoughts in my mind since I was a kid. I think I read somewhere, if you don't control technology, technology is gonna control you. So you better be smart about it and learn these things because it's already here and you should be on top of things. I think that's my approach to technology. So Kubernetes for AI. Why you should use open source cloud native tools for AI? First of all, it's open source, so it's nobody's gonna patent any of those projects under the cloud native control. It's a cloud native platform, so it's very scalable. It's very easy to understand and easy to reason about. The single API, so the Kubernetes API is ubiquitous. You can find it on every cloud, every data center. There must be somewhere a Kubernetes API server you can talk to and probably use to schedule workloads. It's always very available. So Kubernetes was designed from the ground up to be resilient to loss of nodes, loss of entire data centers. And it makes easy to share GPU resources, which are really the core of AI training and inference. So what you can do with Kubernetes for AI is to use the tools you have, the tools you already know for your containerized application, apply them to AI workloads, and off you go. And the community is not standing still. Of course, there is a new proposal for a new working group. So the Cloud Native Computing Foundation is divided in, of course, tags, technical advisory groups. There is a tag for many topics, runtime, observability, security. Now there's one called environmental sustainability. And there's a proposal for a working group under one of the existing tags dedicated to develop and understand and foster the knowledge and the use of AI within the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. Questions still open, so please check it out. It's under the CNCF. It's an open GitHub issue, so you're free to comment. But there's a consensus of this being very important. Just in Chicago, there was a whole conference dedicated to AI called AI Hub, massive room full of. It was one day, but it was almost the whole day dedicated to AI and to AI related content. So, and there's gonna be more in Paris. So fortunately, the call for paper is closed, but there's still time until Saturday for the AI Day, I think it's called. So if you have an idea for a talk, I encourage you to submit. And there are also already tools out there that you can use right now to talk to your cluster, right? So as you would talk to ChatGPT, and they are designed to analyze your workloads, the patterns you're using for in your clusters and give you suggestions. Of course, it is all about the training, right? So they are trained on your own data, on your own workloads, and they are getting better, right? So the more you train them, the more useful the answer you get. So one is Copilot, is also open source. One is KTS GPT, where it's really interesting. It's really it's also from Alex Jones, also one of the most active person in the CNCF AI working group. And it's a great open source tool to really check your clusters using different models. So it's not limited to OpenAI model. You can use many others, many other integrations. So you can use local AI and any other tool that any other provider of AI that you can think of. Another project is also one of my favorites, Kubeflow. Again, this has been around for a long time, at least 3, 4, 5 years, I guess I would say. I mean, I guess 4 years, I remember, as far as I remember. And it's a tool, a Kubernetes native tool to do everything you need for data and analytics, right? So as a data scientist, not only you need to, of course, work on the data, but also you want to maybe do the training on the data and then finally serve the data and possibly even tune those parameters for your training. So Kubeflow is the one-stop shop for all this, and it's great. It provides you everything you need to really run full shop AI model serving and tuning on Kubernetes. So and it's also the basis of Vertex AI in Google Cloud and so on, other projects around there. So they all benefit from the core open source nature of projects like Kubeflow. Finally, of course, like a GitHub Copilot, I don't leave the house without it, I would say, like, or at least I don't run VS Code without it, because yes, I knew Terraform before GitHub Copilot, at least I think I remember. I mean, there is some Terraform and Golang and some other code that I wrote before Copilot, but today I really don't think it's necessary to spend hours and hours writing boilerplate Terraform, for example. I just ask Copilot, it just auto-completes what I want to write. Of course, I need to know what to write, at least to start with, right? So what goes where and what module I want to use for Terraform, for example. That's something I do very, very often. But that's it. I mean, the rest, the boilerplate, all the parameters are filled in by Copilot. I would say if you don't do this, if you don't use these tools, you are missing out. You are basically not doing something. You're not being fair to yourself, because you could be better. And so why not using them? My conclusion. So Cloud Native, most disruptive movement in the last decade in computing. Personally, I've seen a bunch of these movements, of course, like DevOps, you could say, it gets pretty close to second place, but my art is in the Cloud Native bubble or sphere or field, so that's why I call it the most disruptive movement. AI is another disruptive trend. It's amazing because you are putting such computing power in the hands of everybody, and who knows what can happen. You can become a 10x developer if you combine both. If you are working cloud native and using AI tools, yes, it's more like a leveling field. So we are giving all these amazing tools in the hands of everybody. So there's no more excuse to not to be the person you want to be, the coder, the programmer you want to be. And it's great that you have these tools, because I mean, my suggestion, you can do, of course, whatever you want. You can use it. You can use the extra time you gain in any way you want. Me personally, I use it to play more music and spend more time with my family and think about how to use that extra time that I gain every day by AI tools. Help me writing blog posts and writing code and be more organized. I use it for personal growth. So that's my thing. If you are in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands Friday, please join us in the Kubernetes Community Days in Utrecht. And we sold a lot of tickets, but there's always space for some extra if you want to join. And thank you very much.